Rust. Is it worth a buy? Let's read. The only aim in Rust is to survive. To do this, you will need to overcome struggles such as hunger, thirst and cold. Build a fire, build a shelter, kill animals for meat, protect yourself from other players and kill them for meat. Create alliances with other players and form a town, whatever it takes to survive.
So I'm back in Rust. I said I would review this a few months after my initial review, which was back in 2013, so it's a bit longer than a few months, but that's because of the way the game developed. If you don't know, I'm going to do this review in a couple of parts. The first bit is just what is Rust, if you don't know what Rust is. Rust is an early access survival game in which you start off in a world with just a rock and a torch, like a medieval torch thing, and you're totally naked. And it's a huge, big, open world map, and you have to survive, and you do that by building. So use rock on tree will give you wood. Use rock on stone mound will give you a random amount of metal fragments, stone and sulfur. Use wood on rock gets axe. Use axe on tree gets more wood. Use wood and rock on face, get pickaxe. Use pickaxe on rock, get more metal, get more stone, get more sulfur. Use rock on cloth, get bow and arrow. Use bow and arrow on animal, get animal fat and meat. Use rocks on wood, get campfire. Use campfire on meat, eat. Nom, 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 nom. Use building blueprint on face, and you can build a house. Use cloth on animal fat, get fuel. Use fuel on face, get furnace. Use furnace on arse, get metal. Use furnace on metal fragments, build fucking guns. Use guns on every fucker you see. Welcome to Rust. Obviously it's not quite like that, but that's the basics of what Rust is. It's great fun. I've done 254 hours on this game, and so it must be fun, or I wouldn't have played it that much. But the problem is that Rust is not much better now than it was 2 years ago. And before you all go, what lol, let me see, the thing is, when Rust first came out, it was a buggy pile of shit, but fun. The development started quite quickly, which was really good, and there was loads and loads of changes. It had mod support as well, and it was going really well. I had a server that was pretty full all the time. 50 players were in. We had huge battles in it. Fabulous. Some of the videos on Max Corner will show you what it was like. One of them's called the Red Barbecue. It's well worth watching. We lived in this house. There's about 5 or 6 of us, no more than that, and we invited everybody on the server to come round for a peaceful barbecue. Weapons had to be checked at the door. The whole thing was a trap. It was hilarious. That's worth. Well, actually, there's a link to the Red Barbecue. Yeah, the game was developing nicely, and then all of a sudden, Facepunch said, "Hey, guess what? We're going to move to Unity 5." And the problem with that is they had to rebuild the whole game again, and so they're pretty much back to where they were with the original. But everybody's fed up now and gone. No, not many people are playing this compared to how many was playing it before. I've got to say that I'm very, very disappointed with it. I mean, yes, it looks great now in the Unity 5 engine, and there's a lot more crafting things in the game. You've got such things like a quarry now, which you can mine stone and metal out of the ground if you prospect in the right area. The way you build now is fabulous. You just have this, you build a building plan, and then this wheel, when you right click on the building plan, this wheel shows all the different things you can build, and when you select them, it builds them out of twigs, which are dead easy to destroy if you put one in the wrong place. And you can then upgrade it to wood, stone or metal just by simply building a hammer and then right clicking on it, providing you have the materials in your inventory. The whole building it's the best building I've seen in a game. I think it's absolutely phenomenal, the building. They've done a fabulous job with that, but they could have done all that with the original Rust. Now, the original Rust didn't look awful. It just didn't look awful. It looked pretty decent. But where Rust fails miserably, and still does, is that it relies entirely on mods. You see, if you strip away Oxide, which is a mod for the game is shit, because vanilla Rust is fucking awful. You have no control over your server whatsoever. You can't limit different types of weapons or explosives in the game. You can't set the frequency of airdrops. You can't set crafting time. You can't do fucking thing basically without add-ons that are player made. This is where Facepunch have fucking dropped the ball, because they're relying on community mods to make their game good, and that's a mistake. That is a huge mistake. This is one of the reasons 7 Days to Die is so good. I can change everything. Crafting time, airdrop frequency, zombies. I can change the difficulty of the game. I can change everything, pretty much. And Rust needed that. It really needed that, because vanilla Rust is just shit. But with Oxide, with mods, you can make it, tailor it to be good. You should be able to do that in the actual vanilla Rust, not using mods. And what they should have done was just keep developing the original Rust, phase out the mods, put all the stuff in game, make the game fucking great, because people were playing it not because of how good it looked or how bad it looked, but because of how well it played with mods. And configuring the mods was a fucking nightmare, it really was. And it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable when you've got this kind of budget. I mean, Face Punch made millions off Rust. There's no fucking excuse whatsoever for not having all these things included in the game without the reliance on mods. But I did try to kickstart it. I advertised my server to hundreds of people, and they're just not interested anymore. People have moved on from Rust. I even had emails from people saying, you know, Rust's dead, forget it. And I agree with them. Rust is dead. It's too late. He's fucked up. They've dropped the ball with this. They've developed a game that nobody pretty much wants anymore. And they should have kept developing the game that everybody wanted. It was, do you know, it's unbelievable when you look back and you think of the hundreds of thousands of people that were playing Rust when Face Punch decided to stop developing the game and rebuild it from the ground up using Unity 5. It's unbelievable. And you could see that it was gonna, it's alright saying, oh yeah, in hindsight and all that shit, but I said so at the time that it was a mistake. An absolute mistake, and I wasn't the only one. It's not like he didn't know. There was loads of people saying, what the f***? You mean to say the game that we've got now you're just going to let die and you're going to build a whole new game? Unbelievable. Well, no one wants to play your game now, Mr. Face Punch, or Gary, or whatever you're called. Nobody wants to play Rust anymore. We've moved on. There's bigger and better survival games coming up, already been released. I mean, look at Ark. I mean, Ark is very much better now than it was when I just reviewed it a couple of weeks ago as far as optimization's gone. Can you imagine what Rust would be like now if he just kept developing the original build? It would have been fucking amazing now. I mean, can you imagine all the stuff that he would have been able to add? And it ran a hell of a lot better than this version. So, it's up to you guys. I mean, it's a good game. I mean, if it had only just come out now, forget about the history of Rust. Imagine if this had just come out now. Is it a good game? Oh yeah, it's fucking great. It really is. There's the servers, so you can see for yourself. I mean, there's a lot of people playing on the official servers, but when you look at the modded servers and the unofficial servers, you can just see the lack of interest in this game anymore. Is it worth throwing your money at now? In my opinion, it isn't. The glory days have long gone from Rust, and I think the official servers are just death traps. So be it on your own head. Obviously, it's your choice. I'm going to say no, it's not worth a buy. They missed the boat completely, and they need to learn. And other developers need to learn from this as well. If you've got a game and people are enjoying it, don't fucking trash it just to make it look better. Keep building what people like. It's simple fucking business, really. I mean, bloody Nora. Talk about being green as grass. So there you go, that's Rust. It has a lot more stuff in than the original, like quarries and stuff, but it's not worth a buy. You missed the boat. You had it. You had it. You fucking had it, and you threw it away. Shit. And on that bombshell, Chris Evans, fuck off.